Okay, I'm going to try this again. This is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres, and today is the 2nd of March 2018, and this is going to be a follow-up from the video that I made the other day, and I got interrupted. And I've actually got interrupted trying to make this follow-up. But now everybody's gone for the day, and I think I'm able to get this done. Okay, what I was getting at, I think, the other day was going through some of the the characteristics of a sheepdog. So I said, know your sheepdog. If we know our sheepdog, I think we will know our wolf too. If we know the techniques of the sheepdog, generally the converse is true of the wolf, all right? And like I said, I think we're all born kind of sheep. Maybe, I don't know. But at some point, at least in my life, I was at a place in my life where I made a decision. And when I made that decision, I was given other decisions to make. And I made them, and I made them, and I made them. And I got to see people who were true sheepdog, true heroes, perform in action. I'll never forget when I was a kid, there was a plane crash in Boston, and a man dove into icy water. I mean, actually had chunks of ice, and he was breaking it as he went through and swam out like 50 yards and grabbed a hold of a person and pulled them into safety and saved their life. He didn't even know who they were. Didn't even know who they were. Can you imagine the constitution of that person to do that? Anyway, President Reagan honored him, I think, at a State of the Union address. I don't know if I exactly saw that, but I do remember that quite well, and I was very impressed with that person that did that. He could have lost his life, and he was doing it for somebody he didn't even know. And I thought that was pretty good. And that is a true sheepdog. The sheepdog is the one, you know, we have them here, and I actually have one up in the house that's got 5 puppies, but when you watch them, they sit out on a high spot in the field, and they look out over the landscape. And in my case, we raise a lot of chickens out on pasture, and our dogs, they're Great Pyrenees, probably better known as a guardian dog. They look out over the livestock, and just their presence prevents predation. And I can tell you, before we had them, I almost quit doing chickens out on pasture because predation was so bad, and it was such a morale buster for me. You know, I'd come out in the morning, I'd find 10 dead chickens. And it was just night after night. I mean, for a while, it was like World War III around here. I was considering getting some nighttime optics for my gun to start shooting at night, but I didn't want to go down that road. And we got these dogs instead. Anyway, the rest is history. But the dogs, just their presence here keeps the predators at bay. And wolves are predators. Wolves are not out working and providing their own way. They feed off of the workers. I mean, they're parasites, right? And I question this sometime, that in this creation that we live in, there's definitely parasites. And things have a tendency to get out of balance. I think right now, in the state of Michigan, I think we have way too many parasites, and they don't perform any function. They don't create anything. They don't create any wealth. They just live off the backs of people that are struggling to work every day, the sheep. And I can tell you that I know a lot of sheep, because sheep, some of them feel comfortable with sheepdogs, some of them. Some of them don't, because sheepdogs sometimes can appear to be wolves when you think about that. So some sheep are just like, ooh, get away from that. But I know quite a few sheep, and I know that they are struggling just to get to work in the morning, pay for the insurance on their car, put gas in their car, make it out of town without getting picked up by county mountie. You're going to bust them for a leaky muffler or something like that. So it's a struggle for these people. It's a big struggle for these people. And it pains me to see this. I don't like this. And, you know, another characteristic of the sheepdog is they will do something. I mean, it bothers them enough, well, they will do something. In my case, I ran for county sheriff because I was so sick and tired of watching the wolves predate on these people. I'm sick and tired of it, and I'm still sick and tired of it. And I'm not done, and that's why I'm making this video. And I can make this video because I have the First Amendment right to do so. But let's keep going here. We're talking about the head servant of our fair state of Michigan. We're talking about electing another governor, right, in this election that's coming up. And as I asked you in the last video, do we want another wolf there? Is the guy we have now a wolf? Well, gee, I think so. I mean, anybody hear of the Flint water crisis? Here's the head, the governor, the head sheepdog, and he's sitting up on his perch there, and he sees that a whole community of people is being poisoned by the water that's coming into there, and they're paying for it. And then what does he do? He gets his minions to cover it up for a long time. And a lot of children, the innocent, get sick from that water, sick for a lifetime. And the adults too. I mean, it's a terrible mess. Now, is that a sheepdog? Was he looking out for his constituents? No. Were his kids bathing in that water? Were they drinking that water? No, they weren't. And, you know, these people that live in that area, they didn't really have much choice. It's not like any of us have a huge savings that we can just move to a different community. Not like our governor down there. He's 10 times over millionaire. He can do whatever he wants. Did he help any of those people? No, he didn't. He covered it up. Same thing with this MSU crisis that's going on right now. All these 275 girls that were abused. Were our law enforcement top dogs, were they jumping on that over the course of 20 years to get that resolved? No, they weren't. They're not sheepdogs. They're not going to protect the innocent, our children. No, they're not going to do that. But let's take, on the other hand, a guy like Hines. I'm endorsing him, so obviously he's a sheepdog. He's a guy that I could be friends with. He's a guy that I would enjoy his company because he's done great things in his life for people, just regular people. You think he would have let that happen? I don't think so. I don't think so. And he is not a guy that is looking for his next job, looking for his next meal. He's got a good job. He's an obstetrician. He's got a great practice down there in Saginaw. Got a lot of guys working for him. He's got credentials for sure. He doesn't need to do this, but why is he doing this? Because he's looking out over this flock of sheep and he's saying, I'm tired of seeing these people get screwed and I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to do something about it. He's not going to say, well, Bill Schuette, you do something about it. He's not saying that, you know, he's saying, I'll do something about it. I just got a message there and it distracted me. It was about sheepdogs too. So anyway, I do want to expound on this because I think it would be a good tool for people to have, not just making this decision. I mean, if we don't get a guy elected this time that is a sheepdog that's going to take care of us, what we really need is a society that would vote for nobody but a sheepdog. You know, we need a society that is not invested in corrupt individuals that will stand there, take an oath of office before God and country to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, and then turn right around, go back to work, and violate their oath of office. And in the process, run rucksaw over the sheep, over the population. Why? Why do they do that? Why do wolves kill indiscriminately? Why do they do that? You know they do that. They don't kill just what they need. They're not really hunters. They're abusers. They're, in a lot of ways, psychopaths. A lot of these people that I'm talking about right now, these wolves, they are filthy rich. You couldn't spend the money that they have in a lifetime. And then you have people in Flint that have to pay for water that they can't feed, that they can't even bathe their children in. So we're not just talking wolves, we're talking psychopaths here. And they want to be in charge even a little more. I got to cut it off here. I can't go over 10 minutes. This is Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Remember, anyone can farm.